All right, everybody. Now we're going to visit Mrs. Harrison's kindergarten class. Doot, 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 doot.
Welcome to kindergarten. Here we are. Kindergarten rocks. Here is your child's classroom. They enter our day ready to learn and have fun. You can see at their tables, like we discussed at orientation, they are using their milk crates to store all of their learning materials that is easy to access. You can see their names are on their tables along with their pencil bags. So they're responsible for opening and closing their pencil bags and getting out all the materials that we have learned to use since the first day of kindergarten. And that's really hard for a 5-year-old, but they are rocking it. You can see over here where it was the quote room at once, you can see we've set up our literacy stations that we do after journaling. And the first one we've been working on is writing our names. So here's Willow's. We're all learning the first letter we write first, capital, and the rest all lowercase. So literacy stations are open after we do our journaling. In journaling, let's see, your child has their own journal, and inside their journal, they're learning to tell a story. This one's Austin. So Austin says, I'm playing in the puddles and I like the rain and he feels happy. So learning to tell a story about themselves is really important at the beginning of kindergarten. So then we come on over here and their poetry folders are here. Here's their stop and drop. So in the morning, they come in, they open up their folders and they put all the love notes that you send to school here. This is our art center where we have our Play-Doh materials, and it goes through in all of our beautiful stuff that we'll be using throughout the year. And then our art studio continues into our sink where hand washing is really important. And you'll notice the mirror. So we use the mirror in our classroom to express our feelings, take a look at what it looks like when you're sad or when you're angry or when you're happy. And then you can also see the number 4 there. So we've been doing a number hunt in our classroom. So our classroom has definitely changed since you've been in here, since orientation. This is your child's classroom. So we worked really hard on decorating it and building it so it's our own. As I said before, classroom community is really important to me. And you can see how we've instilled Abby Yo-Yo, our most recent story. Children at the Writing and Drawing Center here worked on drawing Abby Yo-Yo, who is one of the characters from the story. Our story this week is Abuela, and we'll talk more about that when we go up to the front of the classroom. As we learned about each other in our classroom community, we built our names and we talked about the shape of our letters and how some are tall and somehow some are short. And then we also talked about how many letters are in our name, because our names are really important. And we still talk about each other's names and building that classroom community. And then as Mrs. Doyle is filming math, math is an important part of our school day. We continuously count, not only from 1, but from different numbers. So we started out slow and we're working on counting 1 to 10 and talking about those numbers, what they look like, what number comes before a certain number, and the number range 1 to 10. And then over here, we've been talking a lot about the 3 B's, be respectful, be safe, and be responsible. And I'm sure your child has talked to you about the green office referrals when you're caught doing something wonderful, and the white tokens. Something that I always instill in my students is the love of learning. So if they're caught having the love of learning, they get to come over here and wear one of their love of learnings, and they absolutely love this. Here's our block center. For the past couple of weeks, we've been working at the block center, building a community. Who's in our community? We have the police station, we have the schoolhouse, we have the fire department. So we've been working really hard on using our imagination and creativity to talk about building. And then over here, dramatization, your child is developing social skills and their imagination, being responsible for cleaning up in an organized way, and then learning that they can be anything when they're over here. So right now, at dramatization, we're building a family. So your child chooses to come to dramatization. They're working together and collaborating on, you know, what's for dinner or turning this into a restaurant. This chart over here talks about the different stations that I will be introducing. So whether your child's working with me, or they're working on listening and speaking, or the reading center, which incorporates poems, or the writing center, and then eventually the pocket chart center, where we'll be incorporating our sight words. Over here against the wall here, this is our school motto, or I should say our classroom motto. So we read this every day, because coming to school is a place that we feel safe and appreciated and joyful and loved and welcomed when we're together. And we definitely work hard in this classroom every day, and we work as a team. And then over here, families, is a list of everyone's name, and you can see the magic heart is on Austin's name, so that tells the children that they are the leader for the day. And dramatization just continues over here, and you can see how the names continue throughout the classroom. And then the string up here will be where I hang our self-portraits that we continue to do, our math station. And then, as I told you throughout this little clippet or blurb of our open house, your child's emotions are really important to me. So over here at this center, the Library and Listening Center, we always talk about how we feel. So if a child needs to go over and check out how they feel, they can come on over and express how they feel. And this is our Library and Listening Center. And I have to say, this has been a really big hit this year. The cube chairs and the stools that were purchased by our wonderful PTO and our cushion seats are really a big hit with the children. So they like coming over here and taking a break and reading. Lastly, over here is our STEM and Discovery. And this week we're talking about scientists. So we're talking about what a scientist does, what they wear, what do they do. So the STEM and Discovery is a big part of our day. And then I also opened up the sand. So we've been discovering sand. Here's our schedule. It's really important that your child knows what's happening throughout our school day. So it definitely stays the same every day, except for specials are rotated. Oh, and then of course my University of Rhode Island doctors have theirs up, so I put mine. Our glorious alphabet, we go over that every day. And just here's a quick example of a morning message that we read together as a class. So that's a quick clip-it of our school day. This is where we meet and greet in the morning, and we do our brain breaks. Thank you for sharing your child with me, and it's been a great start of the year.